You don't even know where I'm from. Your assumption, you're assuming that I've been wrestling some cattle.
BBDs will be right back.
Sweden is cold, yeah, but the Swedes have warm hearts. That's just something I had to read. Welcome back to Bad Bible Debates. We are here with another episode of just incredible debates by myself and, of course, my best friend Mezzo. Mezzo is here with us, but he's just not in the studio yet because while we were driving into the parking lot of the studio/furniture store, we hit... I was driving, I'll say that, and I hit a deer. It felt like it was a deer. It looks like a deer, but when it broke open, it was just full of dirty rags. Igor, the intern here, big lumbering guy, was taking some photos. He was doing like a photo shoot of this deer that he had stuffed with rags. I guess it's a type of Swedish taxidermy. And at this point, he's out there holding the deer, rocking back and forth, petting it and crying. And Mezzo's, I guess, making him feel better. He's soothing him. He's saying they're there and commiserating with him or something like that. Anyway, he's dealing with the problem. I don't understand why anybody cares about a dead deer. It's like pre-dead. So like why? Anyway, this first clip is when Jesus called a Zarephanetian/Canaanite woman a dog. I don't know if you realize that Jesus was a bit of a bigot, but this caller also didn't. So check out when I had to break the news to this guy. Enjoy.
BBDs.
What do you think that children should be able to read in the Bible? Like, what's a good Bible story?
I just feel that, the Bible shares that love one another.
Would love your neighbor as yourself, you mean?
Well, yes, but Jesus loved.
Well, this is a problem, see, because like there's a part of the book where God calls a human person a dog because they're not a Hebrew, and that seems gross. And I feel like I don't want a kid to be like, I love the Jesus character. I think Jesus is wonderful. He's great. And then think it's okay to use a slur towards someone.
I feel that we can always give the cultural side of things and say,
yeah, that's how we know it's a slur.
Because that's an easier way out. I don't know the situation. I don't know the background of what happened there.
We can read it if you want.
Go
Do
on.
you want to read it?
Yeah, let's read it.
Yeah, if you don't know it, then...
I do know, but I ain't got my Bible in front of me.
But you said you didn't know what was going on there, so now you're saying you do know it?
Sometimes we don't know the full context.
So Mark 7, verse 24 to 30. Jesus left the place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know it, yet he could not keep his presence a secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an impure spirit came and fell at his feet. She may have been, sleeping around maybe or something. I don't know what impure spirit's supposed to mean. The woman was Greek, born in Syrian Phoenicia. So she was a Syrophoenician woman, which is just a fun word. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. First, let the children eat all they want, he told her, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. So now he's referring to the woman as a dog. So then she says, Lord, she replied, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs, right? And then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter. She went home and found her child in bed. The demon was gone.
So the demon went.
Yeah, he did it. He ended up doing it.
Wait a second. So even the dogs... So wait, think about that a second. She went pure, clean.
She got healed by the demon or whatever.
You're better than the dogs. Even the dogs don't deserve it. You can go clean.
What? No, that's not better than the dogs.
The dogs still scrape for the crumble.
I don't think that that's what's happening. Okay, so let me just put it into more perspective by reading Matthew 15. We're going to read Matthew 15, 21 to 28, just to see the story with a little bit of a different...
You were saying she's better than the dogs.
Well, no, he's saying that he's going to.
He went clean.
You're just saying words that don't
He
make
went away
part of the
pure.
story.
He
The
went away
daughter,
pure.
the daughter had the impure spirit. All right, so leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre of Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him to send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. So then he answered, "I was sent only for the lost sheep of Israel." So that's going to give you an idea of who the children are. The children are the lost sheep of Israel, okay? The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, please help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." The children are the lost sheep of Israel. That's what he came for. He is the children's bread. He's not going to toss it to the dogs. And she says, "Yes, it is, Lord," she said. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." So she's like, I am a dog. I recognize that. Just give me some crumbs. Would you even just give me a little bit of crumbs? And then Jesus answered, "Woman, because you have great faith, your request has been granted," and her daughter was healed. So he is acknowledging, like he's saying, "You're a dog, go away. I'm only here for the lost sheep of Israel." And then she's saying, "I recognize I am a dog. The slur you used towards me being non-Hebrew, yes, I recognize that. I'm a
Sinful.
dog." But we even get
Sinful.
crumbs. Can I have crumbs?
Sinful.
And then he goes,
Sinful.
I'll do the crumbs.
Sinful. We're all sinful.
No.
Don't deserve it.
This is nationality.
We're
This
all
has nothing to do with
sinful.
sinful.
Don't
This has
deserve it.
nothing to do
We're
with
all sinful and don't deserve it.
Hey, but guess what, Paul? We're not going to add stuff. So this
No,
is about
so you
the
will.
race of the person.
Only-
Yeah, so it's nothing to do with sin,
Lost
right? There's
sheep-
no mention
lost
of
sheep are
sin.
Sinful. Lost sheep.
Well, there's
lost
nothing.
sheep
There's
are
no mention of sin.
Lost sheep are
Yeah,
sinful.
so that's fine. That's
If you're
fine.
bound-
So
if
he's
you're
there
bound-
for
if
sinful
you're-
people.
listen,
He's there for
if you're
sinful
a good
Hebrews.
sheep, if you're a good sheep, you're not lost and not sinful. If
Okay,
you're a good sheep,
so
you're not sinful.
okay, so we're just in a different world right now. So what we're talking about is we're talking about him saying, "I've only come for the lost sheep of Israel."
Yes.
And her not being of Israel, she's Canaanite. So him calling her a dog, like a Canaanite dog, which was a slur at the time. That's why children shouldn't be reading this, because they'll learn that the hero of their story uses slurs, and I don't think that's a good thing.
Okay.
But this has nothing to do with sin.
Really?
Not the way you want it to be.
Not the way you want it to be.
Well, I don't know how sin would come into this
I'm
to
trying to
fix
explain
the
to you.
problem. Is he using a slur?
No. He's saying you're sinful.
Where?
No. He's saying he's talking about wolves.
Where?
He's
Where?
talking, look, like I said to you.
Read the part where he says you're sinful,
know when-
lady.
No, he didn't say
Read,
sinful.
no,
but
read
he's
the
saying-
part where he says.
But he's saying.
Oh, you're making it up.
look-
Oh, I think you're making it up. You're just talking out your ass. Actually, that's more of a this.
You gotta go wee.
That's more of
You
this
gotta
one.
go wee. Weasel out of this. Weasel out of this. Weasel, 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 weasel out.
Yeah, you can't just make stuff up. I'm sorry.
I'm not making it up. I'm
Yeah,
breaking
you're
down
just
what you're
saying-
telling me. You're
No.
reading me scripture, and I'm breaking it
Yeah,
down.
nothing about sin there.
Well,
that's not true.
We're talking about wolves and sheep and this that, and the other.
We've never
And
mentioned
what a sheep-
wolves. You're
and a
adding
wolf-
wolves. You're adding wolves.
listen,
There's
mate,
no wolf.
From my scripture, I'm telling what a wolf and a sheep is.
There's no wolves in this.
Dogs and wolves.
Oh, throwing to the dogs. No, that's a dog under the table who is
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
That's
Someone-
a pet.
Looked at down upon. Yeah.
Yeah. A mutt. Mm-hmm. Okay, so not a wolf. So he's treating her like a dog. He's calling her a dog. Dog is a slur, right?
Really?
Dog is used as a slur, like a Canaanite dog. And so he's saying, "You're a dog. You're not the people I came here for," because he's
say you're
only into his own people.
He didn't
then-
call her a dog.
Yeah, he did.
He said, "You're faithful." He said, "You're faithful."
No, he said it's not right to take the children's bread. That's him, and toss it, and the children are the lost sheep of Israel, and toss it to the dogs. So who would be the dog? It'd be her. And then
No.
she says, oh, "Yeah, I know that, but
Think about it again.
even dogs eat the crumbs." So she's like, "Yeah, I am a dog." So she thinks she's a dog. You might not think that, but she thinks she is.
He
She
didn't think that
recognized
either.
it.
She recognized it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, she
That's
recognized
nice.
it.
That's nice that she recognized it.
She recognized she's
You said
a
she
dog.
recognized it.
So she's saying,
she
"I am a
recognised her
dog."
Fooling. So she recognized her falling. So Jesus didn't call her a dog.
No, Jesus did. He referred to her as a dog,
he
and then
didn't.
she acknowledged that,
didn't.
yes, she is the dog.
He didn't.
The woman comes to him and says, help me. He says, it's not right to take the bread for the children, the lost sheep of Israel, and give them to the dog. He's saying, I'm not going to help you because you're a dog. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And then she says, but even the dogs get crumbs. And he goes, all right, because you acknowledge that you're a dog, that's in the Mark 7 version, I'll do it. You can't just go, no, that's obviously what's being said here. If you have anything to say in response to that, cool. If not, we can move on.
I would say that, personally, I would say Jesus was saying to her that if you want to follow me, you need to believe in me and not be... Look, you're nodding your head already.
Because none of those words are there, Paul. You can't just add a pile of shit to it. That's crazy.
D's.
Welcome back. We have... Oh, hey, it's Bjorn. Bjorn, do you want to say hi to the... Where? Who's Frederick? The chef? The chief? Why is the chief of police here? Okay. Apparently the, chief of police is here. He's probably here to check out Igor's room. Oh, it's weird in there. I don't feel perfectly safe here. That's a good thing Joel went out for blood pudding. He does not like the cops. This is really uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm supposed to read this. Holiday, come to Sweden, ja. We have big forests, many lake, and cozy cabins for all. You take a fika and just relax? Ah, like true Swede. Maybe see northern lights. Maybe meet a moose. Very erotic, very nice. I think they meant exotic, but it's fine. Sweden. Cold outside, warm in heart. Skjal. What does skjal mean? Skal? I don't know how to say this. This next clip is about evolution and the Bible or something like that. I don't know. God stuff.
Oh, BBDs.
Do you have a reason why God isn't real? Like,
I guess it just means he doesn't exist. It's a fake story that people have believed for a long time and just taught their kids about it, and so it's kind of been passed down generationally. But there's not any merit to it, just like with the other religions, like with Islam, right? Islam isn't true, right?
I'm just listening to you. So who made the sun and the moon and the stars? Who made all of this stuff? It's just a big bang made everything.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't the right
how
question?
Did you come to be? How did your family come to be? How did
so you're asking 50 questions a minute. So I know that I don't have this posted, and I should post it, but there is a there's a rule here where you can only do 5 pivots per minute. So you just did 2, and so
I assumed that you were smart. I assumed that.
No, I'm just letting you know it's not about me. It's just one of the rules of the live. You can only pivot 5 times per minute. We have a 5 ppm.
I'm sorry, you just sound articulate, so I just assumed
5
that you were
ppm,
smart,
so.
and I don't want to.
No. I'm not. I'm very much not, which is why I try to keep it to a minimum here of 5 pivots per minute. So if you want to ask a question, do you want the answer to the question, or do you want the? So ask one question, and then I'll give the answer. And then you would ask the next question. Because if you ask multiple questions, I might mix it up because I can't follow that fast.
By DNA standpoint, there's turtles and animals and all different kinds of animals made after their own kind. They don't even reproduce after different kinds. So, who created all of that? It just all popped out of nowhere. That's my question. Where did it come from?
Yeah, Luca. So Luca is the last universal common ancestor. And once you have that, evolution takes over, and you get biodiversity. Yeah.
What?
Have you ever heard of Luca?
So basically, Luca happened, and then every type of animal, every everything. That's wild to believe. That takes stronger.
Yeah.
That takes stronger to believe than to believe that there's not a God. To me, in my opinion.
Well, hold on a second. I'm sorry that I jumped.
Takes
I
way
don't want
more
to jump in
belief to
here,
say
but
that
just,
Luca happened, and then
but
all of
Sorry,
this.
you're not allowed to interrupt Joel as one
Hold
of the
on.
other rules. I gotta
But-
post
I'm
these
sorry,
rules.
Joel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like this people just don't think of me as a real person.
No, I'm
But
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I apologize because this is the first time I've heard of this Luca idea. So if you can explain it to me, Bud, real quick, because I want to make sure that I understand what the Luca is. I'm asking Bud because Bud jumped on it right away and seemed to know
You
what
mentioned
Luca
Luca.
meant.
I
And then
said I didn't know what it was, Frank.
Mezzo said the Luca thing, and you said, "Oh, everything came from a Luca." That doesn't make sense. You have to have more faith to believe that, as if you understood what he was saying.
So basically, I said if he's saying everything came from Luca, meaning it's just what DNA, every one thing made everything. Like,
You see, this
so
is the
that's
thing. I
not
don't
what it
think
is.
you understood what the concept
right.
of this
So I
Luca
asked him to explain it. It's not about me.
No,
It's
you
about
didn't. You
him
just said
explaining.
you need to have more faith in that than to believe in not God.
Yeah, because I mean, okay. So
do you want clarification on what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Earlier, the way that you were kind of like trying to insult my intelligence as if it was less than yours, I thought maybe yours was higher, and so that you would have like followed that
Because when
along.
I
But you're
said
saying
five things, you acted
you're
like
saying
you
you're like
couldn't
me,
interpret
right?
what I was saying. I didn't even use big words. I'm not even, I never cleared to be a scientist or anything.
I thought you already knew what it
With all
was
due
because you
respect,
dismissed it so quickly.
no.
You're like, oh, I know all about that and stuff like that. And because of your insult
I
on me
ain't
earlier.
that.
Luca's just the last universal common ancestor. It's an acronym, okay? LUCA. After like the RNA world happened, you know about RNA and DNA, right? Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yes.
Yeah. So that when it was the RNA, just the ribonucleic acid, and the world was like that, that's a much simpler world. Once you get to Luca, that's the last universal common ancestor, it means that that thing that developed overtook the rest. And it wasn't just one thing, it was like a community of things. And they overtook the rest and grew, and they spread across the earth. And this doesn't happen over millions of years. It takes longer than that, right? Evolution kicks in, and you know about natural selection, right?
Yeah, the good stuff outweighs the bad stuff, I guess, or takes over.
Kind of, not necessarily. It's just that like it has to be good enough to survive.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean like this thing of like survival of the fittest isn't the right word for it. That was like something Darwin came up with, and they've adjusted it since then. The thing about like it just has to be good enough to survive, good enough to fuck. Like as long as you can like live long enough to fuck, then your genes get passed down because fucking passes genes down, right?
So first, I'm sorry, because I want to keep up and everything. First, it was just like some type of like it had to start as DNA. So that's like the small
RNA.
RNA. Sorry. And then it all was like a whole sludgy thing, and then it all turned into a bunch of different stuff. And now nothing changes. Everything stays after its own kind. Like after the first mutation, everything just stopped mutating. Because basically we haven't evolved. Like people swim, but then their kids don't grow gills, if that makes sense.
Oh man, if like a baby was born with gills, it would fully disprove evolution. That would be awesome actually. If we could like disprove evolution, that would be sick. Like a baby was born with gills, they're a fish baby. We have to like reshape the entire science. Biology is like out the window. We have to like start over. That would be amazing, yeah. But there is like an interesting thing about how often we change. You're very different from a giraffe, right?
Right.
Yeah, like your neck isn't super duper duper long. They have this huge long neck. So you would look at it and say, okay, my neck has like 7 vertebrates in it. That's like how many your human neck has in it. And theirs doesn't. Theirs is huge and long, right? Like if a giraffe neck only had 7 vertebrates in it, then that would be interesting. But you'd look at that and go, why is that so different, right?
I mean, because of DNA, because I'm not a giraffe, I'm a human.
The weird thing about it is that giraffes have 7 vertebrates in their neck. They do. They have the same number as you. Okay. Every mammal does. Like dogs do, cats do, mice do. Mice and giraffes have the same number of neck bones. Isn't that weird?
Okay, but do snakes?
Snakes aren't mammals.
I mean, but there are snakes and there are fish and
yeah,
there are
and these different, like you're nailing it. Sorry to interrupt, but like you're nailing, like when you start to differentiate to things that are that different, that's when it's in a different group. It stops being a mammal. It's still an animal, but now you have reptiles and mammals. You start to find these big enough differences. We are mammals because we're mammals, and giraffes are mammals because we have the same vertebrae in our neck, and we have we milk feed our babies. Like babies suck our tits, to get food. Like that happens with us and with elephants. And for people in the chat, and Joel, I don't know if you've ever seen like elephant's tits, but like they're like strangely nice. Like it's weird. It's like weird. It's like those are like actually like a nice set. It's like kind of impressive actually. Sorry that was a little like side thing, but like look it up. It's kind of like, whoa, that's actually like a decent.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna go Google that right now.
So what about like the elements? Because I mean,
no, elephants. I said elephants.
No. I know you're talking about boobies, and I know I don't mean to interrupt your set or whatever.
But there's something interesting because I mentioned how like mice, humans, and giraffes all have 7 vertebrates in their neck. If you look at mice teeth, these like just like vertebrates, these are also bones. Teeth are just outside bones. They're like bones you can see. It's weird. Like these are bones. Giraffe teeth are very different from ours. We are not that closely related. We're close enough that our necks are the same, but our teeth are very different. If there was an animal that had like exactly 32 teeth in the exact same place as us and like the same number of baby teeth and everything, we would go like, whoa, that's actually really similar to us. But like dogs don't have that though. You know what I mean? If we could find that would be really interesting to see like who our closer relatives are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what about that? I mean, you don't think...
Oh, shoot. Hold on 1 second. I just looked this up. All apes and most monkeys have exactly 32 teeth. That's really interesting. Yeah, actually, chimpanzees and stuff, they have the exact same baby teeth, the exact same, like where our canines are, where our molars are. They have the exact same layout, which is fascinating. I think it does, like, give us a hint that maybe they're closely related to us. And then, of course, when we do the DNA test, they're so close. They're so similar. And they're so smart. Rodents didn't quite get the same brain as us. They're smart. They can like go through a maze and find cheese. Monkeys got a little brighter and they could crack nuts and solve problems and work together as a social structure. That helped them survive. So they passed that on to their kids. They fucked and their genes went on, right? Each time that like some animal got a little bit smarter, it did a little better than the other ones. And over time, like this would take so long. And actually when Darwin realized this,
why don't they
everyone was like, you're wrong. There isn't enough time. Like Earth hasn't been around long enough for this much evolution to have happened over this period of time. So Darwin was wrong, right?
So, okay. So
shit, though, the other thing here is that it says that at the time they didn't know how old the Earth was, and the way that they were dating the Earth was incorrect. So when they really did that correctly and they used like rubidium-87 and stuff like that, you know about those things, they found out that the Earth was much, much older. In fact, it fit perfectly with the evolution ideas that Darwin had put in place. So it wasn't that he was wrong, the other people were wrong. And when they realized and corrected that, they realized that this other story still does fit. Which is amazing, like how close he was. Like he wasn't perfect. He had a few things wrong, but like he did a really good job. His insight was amazing, like honestly.
And my argument would be the Bible being as old as it is, and we're not even going to say 1611. Let's just say 1611. Said that he formed us from the dust. And when you look, you can Google it or however you want to look it up. We have the same elements as so. He looking up elephant boobs still, but yeah, we have the same.
You said from the dust. From the dust.
Okay, yeah. We have the same elements in us as the soil, humans and the soil. You can look that up.
Wait, so you're saying that like the humans are made of the same stuff that the Earth is made of?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's verifiably true. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the Bible says that.
Yeah,
like,
we're all made of star stuff. Actually, if you go back farther than the Bible, a star long ago exploded, and we don't know exactly which one yet, but like all of that stardust burst out in a supernova, right? And then it went in different directions, and some of it went. It's like it was a way bigger star than ours, like a huger star than ours. And once enough mass gets together, it forms back into a new star. This is sometimes how stars are formed. Sometimes it's in like nebulae. But yeah, I mean, you know about this stuff. But like the protoplanetary disk, like starts swirling.
Did somebody tell you that? Did somebody tell you that?
I mean, this is like well documented, well researched stuff, like from
And that's what I'm
astronomers
saying.
and
The
astrophysicists. Yeah.
Bible is literally well documented and researched as well. That's like
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So when we did the
actual
research,
history.
this one turned out to be fake. Just like I was saying, when like they thought Darwin was wrong because they looked into it, it's like, oh, the age of the Earth is wrong. That's why. So when we look at the Bible, we also realize this thing's wrong. It's just incorrect.
No, but I'm saying it was right about that. It was dead on. I mean,
About
and then
the coming from dirt. No, that's not what humans didn't come from dirt. That's not true.
they plant us right back in the dirt when we die. I mean, I said we have the same elements.
That's a good point, actually. I guess I hadn't thought about that. Since they put us in the dirt when we die, therefore the first human ever must have also come from out of dirt.
Because he's God.
That's a non-answer.
Why does having sex make new babies?
Joel, do you want to describe how babies are made to her? I feel like I've kind of been doing a whole lot of different stuff here.
I don't know if that's going to be PG. I think that what's happened here is...
Job. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Bud, just shut up for a second.
No.
Joel's
Have a
talking.
nice time.
Sorry, you have to shut up. Joel's talking.
the thing is that like Mezzo explained a lot of science to you that you obviously didn't understand, and that's fine. But what you do, what you already have, but let me finish a diatribe here for a second. What you did was you resorted to just the regular stuff that you were raised with in Sunday school and the rhetoric of Christianity and stuff like that, which is just, make believe. God spoke a person into existence. This is nothing.
He did a wonderful
This
job
doesn't mean
drawing
anything.
it. Like, are you serious?
Okay, you're not going to listen to
I'm
me
not.
either. This is you're never going to learn.
And we're back. I don't know if Mezzo told you about the room. There's a room where Igor has all of his taxidermy, and it is creepy. It is really scary. Some of the positions he has them in are like highly, I don't even mean like subtly, highly sexual. And there's just a pile of soiled rags that he's filling these skins with. I guess they call them skins. Oh, I don't like this. But Mezzo's gone down there to take some pictures just in case we need it for evidence. Like, it's just weird. Anyway, lovely to be here in Sweden. But you think that's creepy. The Bible is creepier. The Bible has a lot of bad ideas, a lot of bad stories, and a lot of Christians don't know that or want to ignore it. But I put the book front and center in the face of this cowboy. Check it out. BBDs. Crimson, are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do you have children?
Yeah, I've got 2 girls, as a matter of fact. Both of them are adults.
Did you let them read the Bible when they were kids?
Yes, I did.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. They're still Christians?
Yes, they are.
That's one of the problems. See?
No,
That's a
that's
problem.
not
They
a
were
problem.
indoctrinated
That might
when
be
they
a
were
problem for
younger.
you. It might be a problem for you, but it's not for them.
What Bible story do you think is like good for
What
kids?
books do you think they should read? Like gender-affirming care books? Harry Potter books?
Crimson, if you're going to be a bigot, I'm going to drop you. We don't have to jump right to the bigotry, right?
So you think Harry Potter books are fine? And
I don't know. I haven't really read Harry Potter. I think The Little Prince.
And like
The Little Prince. Hey, Crimson, have you heard of The Little Prince?
Yeah, I have, and guess what? They read that
Beautiful-
book too.
it's a beautiful
And they also
story.
read books on witchcraft, and they were able to make their own decisions because I let them make their own decisions. I didn't.
Did you get them to
my
read
book.
like the bigotry handbook? Oh wait, that's the Bible. I think The Little Prince that's age appropriate. That's a beautiful, beautiful book. But I was asking you, which of the Bible stories do you think are child appropriate?
That's why they have children's Bibles. But you didn't know that, did you?
No, because when I was a kid, I was given like a study Bible.
There's your problem. Your people didn't love you enough to give you a children's Bible, and it frightened your little.
Let me get my mom up here. You can tell that to her face. Are you willing? Do you want to talk to my mom and tell her that
you? Saying I didn't love my kids enough.
Do you want to talk to her and tell my
You
mom
said
that she
you
was a
brought
shitty
that in
parent?
first.
Would you like to?
First. You say I didn't love my kids enough
if
because I
you're
let them
just
read the
making a
Bible.
judgment call about my mom. I was saying
Hey,
that
you can
you
make
admitted
judgment
to
calls
letting
on
your
me.
kids read the Bible.
You can make them
You
on
didn't
me,
tell
but
me
I
that it
can't
was a
make them on
child's
you.
Bible. Anyway, the point is that I don't think Crimson knows any Bible stories. I don't think he knows any Bible
Actually, I did,
characters.
'cause I went to college for 4.5 years on spirituality.
You're an
theology.
educated boy?
Yes,
You're
I
a big
am.
boy. You're a
I have
big
2
college
college
educated
degrees.
boy.
But not
What
just in
Bible
theology and
story? So
spiritualism,
what
but
Bible
guess what?
story?
I also have one in physics too.
So which Bible story do you think is child appropriate?
Well, let's see. There's the David and Goliath story.
You
That's
think that okay?
appropriate.
Look, I think the David
There's
and Goliath
Adam,
story.
that's
Let's get into it.
appropriate.
Let's get
There's
into
the
it.
Prodigal Son. That's
Okay,
appropriate.
Crimson, this is my problem.
There's the Sermon on the Mount. That's
Okay,
appropriate.
this is my problem.
I got on this conversation.
Shit, now look what you've done.
We had a destination. But you keep saying things that don't relate.
I was trying to respond, but you just gish galloped.
I wish you'd stay on task so I don't have to boot your ass. If your
No one
points
can
were
hear you.
more than vapid, you would not have to gish gallop, cowboy.
It's appropriate for you because you are a bit of a cowboy.
You don't even know where I'm from.
Where? When I hear where, it sounds like a cowboy. You don't even know where I'm from. Your assumption, you're assuming that I've been wrestling some cattle. Anyway, so listen, who cares? The point is,
No, I care. because
we're talking
you're
about David and
having a double
Goliath.
standard. You're having a double standard. You're free to make assumptions on me, but I can't make assumptions
You can
on
say
you.
whatever you want. I was just picking on
I
you a little
offended
bit
your
or
little
whatever.
principalities when I started
Huh?
hitting home, didn't I? I offended your little sense of principalities when I made an assumption about you.
What? Which was
That your
that?
mommy didn't love you enough to give you a children's Bible.
I'm goofing off. My mom's not here. I couldn't bring my mom up. She doesn't want to talk to you. But listen, I wasn't really offended. I'm not bothered. You can say whatever you want about my mom. We were talking about David and Goliath. You go, this is a child safe story. Now, I agree that the idea that a little man, a little shepherd boy with the power of God overcomes a big scary giant. Okay, that doesn't seem that horrible of a story for kids, and they will read Jack and the Beanstalk. My problem is that if they really like the David character, that gets problematic, right? Because David, he was a bad apple. He goes and fucks Bathsheba and then forces her husband into the front line so he'd be killed. We don't want kids reading that, do we?
So what do you think is appropriate for kids out of all the
Well,
books
not
in the
that.
world?
I said The Little Prince. We already did that.
Oh, that's the only book.
But it's one of them. I don't know why what's the point?
What about the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew?
I don't know. I haven't read those. Are they good for kids?
Some would say they are. Some would say they aren't.
Would you say to your kids, hey, if you ever want to fuck someone else's spouse and you're a king, just put the husband in the front line getting killed?
No. See,
No,
David
you see
and
some
Goliath-
hot. You see someone hot having a bath. You want to fuck
David
him?
and
There's a way to
Goliath.
do that, and David's
Are
the
you gonna
good
keep
guy.
interrupting? Are you going to keep interrupting?
Well, you started talking over me, you piece of shit.
Yes,
so why
I
don't
did.
Why don't you
And it's
stop
wonderful, isn't
interrupting me instead of saying
No,
that I'm interrupting
because I'm a
you?
moron, and I like getting under your skin.
All right. So what were you going to say?
There are several books in David. Several books. But David and Goliath.
There's a book
one
called
of the
David, you
books.
think? Is that how uneducated you are about the Bible? There's no book of David.
No, there's not a book of David. But there
Okay,
are
you just said
several
in
different
David. It sounded like you
areas
thought
in
there was a
the
book of David. I don't want them
thinking
reading the
about
Psalms.
David and
I don't
Goliath.
want them reading the Psalms. You know, there's a psalm about dashing babies upon rocks. If I had kids, I don't want them reading that. That sounds bad,
you would let
man.
them-
I don't
here's
want
one
them to
for
be
you.
like, I love the David character. Let me read all these beautiful poems. What? They're dashing babies. Is that good now? Should that be good now? Because that's going to confuse kids, right? They're going to be like, I
Let's
didn't
look
know
at the
that
whole
that was
Christmas
good
thing.
now.
Let's look at the Christmas Carol. Is that a good sentiment to put in front of children?
Okay, mentioning other things that may be bad or good doesn't solve the problem of the Bible, okay? So if you could point out that every
That's
other
your opinion,
story
and your
in
opinion
the
is
world...
garbage.
Well, that's all we're really doing up here is opinions.
Hey, finally both here.
Oh, there you are. Finally, let's do the outro.
Yep, take it away, buddy.
Well, that's it from us. I'm Joel.
I'm Mezzo.
And I'm Joel.
And just make sure you follow Bad Bible Debates wherever good podcasts are sold.
Yeah, or wherever you normally hijack them from.
And if you can, like it or leave a comment or anything on whatever platform you're using, please do that too.
That's right, buddy. And be sure to follow me on YouTube and TikTok. That's where we record all of these lives from. So if you want to catch the whole thing live, we got a lot of stuff going on over there.
We're always going live on TikTok and on YouTube. So yeah, definitely follow Mezzo there. And also, hey, look, follow me on TikTok, Joel Reads Bible, or subscribe on YouTube at Joel Reads Bible.
Oh, right. I guess I should say my handle is Mezzo_WS. That's pretty much the same on everything.
That's it from us for now. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Bad Bible Debates.
Dude, I think that went really well.
Actually, you know what? I think that was one of our best.
Oh, I wouldn't say best. I mean, it was okay.
No, I'm not joking.
I really liked your part.
You're so hard on yourself. You know, just listen closer to mine, and maybe you'll get it. You know, I think eventually you will get it. Baby.